everybody. Thanks for checking in. I just got home from the Daybell trial and I brought you all to my backyard. If you haven't seen the Boise River, there it is. Absolutely gorgeous. A little dangerous right now. It's high, but yeah. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about the case and the things that are going on in the courtroom, some of the behind the scenes stuff. Well, so first let's talk about Chad. So Chad is, swear to gosh, he's a wax statue. Dude does not move. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he sits in one place for the entire day without moving. I swear. I sit there and at the first recess, my whole butt is asleep and I could barely walk. And this guy sits there motionless. The only thing that really ever moves on him are his hands. They change position from time to time. No motion, nothing. I didn't even know his head turned until the other day when they played the video of him being arrested in the patrol car and he was talking to his daughter. So that's definitely an interesting anomaly. He also, his pants are definitely way too big for him and his shirt is untucked in the back. So he looks neat from the front, but when he stands up, he has I guess a major wedgie from sitting and not moving all day. And his shirt's hanging out the back, but the jury can't see that. So I don't think it really matters. As far as the attorney performance, let's get into that next. Okay, so now let's take a moment and talk about the prosecution team. They are sharp. They have the jury's full attention. It is like a tennis match. It goes from attorney, witness, exhibit, attorney, witness. They're very focused. A lot of note taking when the prosecution is questioning a witness. It does tend to taper off if the questioning goes on for a little bit long, but they are definitely engaged with the prosecutor. One juror was actually nodding at the conclusion of one of the witnesses today for the prosecution, which I thought was extremely interesting. This was one of the witnesses that was testifying about Tammy's health. And while we're on that subject, ladies and gentlemen, there is no better way to alienate women on your jury other than calling another woman fat and saying she's out of shape. And that's exactly what Mr. Pryor did today. He kept making snarky suggestions that Tammy was unhealthy because of her weight. But thankfully, when he did that with one of the witnesses, she fought back. She was outstanding. And the jury reacted very well to that, her coming back at him. The response to him calling her fat definitely offended the women. And a couple of the men seemed to be taken aback by that statement. Mr. Pryor does get very snarky on cross-examination, which, hey, it's his job, but he does get pretty aggressive. And he's doing a good job of being a defense attorney with what he's got to work with. But I will tell you that there are a handful of jurors that appear to immensely dislike him. There is also a shift in the amount of tennis head between attorney and witness, and the note taking starts and tapers off, and ultimately many of the jurors lean back in their chairs and it looks like they're tuning him out. And then of course, when the prosecution jumps back up, the notes start again and they start paying attention a little bit better. So word to the wise, don't be rude to your witnesses, especially insulting a demographic. It's not a good look. But now let's get into a couple more of the dynamics of the makeup of the jury, and I'll let you know my thoughts on that. With this particular jury, there isn't really much of a grouping per se. They all sort of mosey in the courtroom together, saunter in, sashay, if you will. They kind of come in as a group. There are 3 women in the back row that seem to be grouped together because there's monitors that they share, but these 3 women always share the same monitor instead of, one of them has a closer monitor on the other side of her, but she sort of huddles in with the other ones. And of those women, one of them had made some pretty interesting faces in the last few days at various statements and questions by Mr. Pryor, which I thought was kind of interesting. And then the other thing that is very strange is that in the front row, there is a female and she's seated on the far right. And I call her the stormtrooper because she does not walk in with a group. She literally marches in like a soldier. Maybe she was a soldier. I don't know. But she marches in. She's usually about 5 feet ahead of the rest of the jurors in her row. And when she gets to her chair, she stands at attention and spins around and stands at attention. She is the juror that takes the most notes, most engaged, and I guarantee you she's vying for the 4-person position. So we'll see how that works out. But anyhow, I'm going to let y'all go today because I do have to finish walking the law dog who's with me, and I will show you in a second. But please leave me some questions or comments you have below if you want to know anything in particular with regard to the evidence or today's motions. Let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions. I will tell you it is an eye-opening experience having been in the court and seeing the jury and focusing on them. I've actually had to start sketching them because I didn't want to get kicked out of the court for staring at them and looking like a creeper. So I'll share my sketches with you of people in the courtroom in the next video. But for now, I'm tired. My dog needs a desperate walk, and I will introduce you to the law dog, and then I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks. Let me take a moment to introduce you to my law dog. This is Buddy. He's unhappy because in the springtime here, all these really nice trees drop sticky leaves everywhere and they stick to his paws and he hates it. So right now he's upset with me because he wants me to carry him home. And I don't want to carry him home. I want him to walk so that he'll be tired later. Sweet, say hi. Hi. Yeah, it's my law dog. That's my law dog. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow.